So resting your hands on your knees or your thighs, and personal choice, either palms facing down or palms facing up. Just a nice bend in the elbows there. Softening through the elbows. And just inhaling and exhaling through your nose. And growing out through the crown of the head on the inhale. And then softening your shoulders down away from the ears on the exhale. And once you've connected with your breath, once you've noticed it, just the length of the inhales and the exhales, just the pace of the breath. Just take your attention to the physical body. So just notice any areas where you might be holding tension. It's most commonly in the shoulders, maybe in the hips. And just softening into those areas on the exhale. And then just noticing as well anything that comes up for you emotionally. Maybe casting your mind over the day. Or what's ahead. And just sitting with it here in this moment. And just finding that stillness. And just that space for yourself. And then we'll move on to a breathing exercise, to a pranayama. So taking your right hand and then placing your index finger between your eyebrows. And then that leaves your thumb and your ring finger to either place over your right nostril or your left nostril. And we'll do some alternate nostril breath. So just to start with, cover the left nostril with your ring finger. And just take some slow, deep inhales and exhales. Just coming accustomed to breathing through that right nostril and just noticing the cool air on the inhale. And then the warmer air on the exhale. And then we'll switch sides, so releasing that ring finger and then covering your right nostril with your thumb. And then just taking some deep breaths through that left nostril. Inhaling and exhaling. And then we'll switch fingers in time with the breath. So inhale through the left. Exhale through the left. And then inhale through the right. Exhale through the right. Inhale left. Exhale left. Inhale right. Exhale right. And this time we'll inhale right again. And then exhale left. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale right. Exhale left. And then inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale left. Exhale right. And one last time, inhale left. And exhale right. And then dropping that right hand away. And just allowing your breath just to return to normal. Breathing through both nostrils. And just noticing how you're feeling. And then as we open the eyes, we'll sweep our palms up overhead, palms to touch. And then as we exhale, we'll take a twist to the right. So dropping your left hand on your right knee and your right fingertips behind you, gazing over that right shoulder. Keeping the spine nice and long, engaging the core, drawing that navel back towards the spine. And just inhaling and exhaling here, relaxing the shoulders, gentle twist, not pushing it too far. And then we'll inhale back through center, extend those fingertips up towards the ceiling. And exhale, we'll go to the other side. So right hand on that left knee, looking those left fingertips behind, gazing over that left shoulder. Lovely deep inhales and exhales. And we'll inhale back through center, extend those fingertips up. And then exhale, we'll drop our right hand down next to that right hip. And then inhaling that left hand up overhead, palm facing down. So bending, softening into that right elbow. Making sure you're still grounded through both of those sit bones. So really try and push that left knee away. Drop the shoulders and just finding that stretch down the left hand side. Inhale to release back through center and exhale. We go the other side. So dropping into that left hand, extending the right overhead. Pushing that right knee away from you. Inhale back through center, exhale, drop to the right again. Maybe this time taking more of a bend into that elbow. Just see what's there for you, see what's accessible, see what feels right. Inhale to release, exhale to the other side. Really dropping into that left side. And we'll inhale back up through center and exhale, we'll take a fold. So just walking those fingertips away from you. Releasing the neck. Maybe taking some movements just from side to side. Creeping those fingertips away. And then inhale to release. Coming all the way back up. And then if you're cross-legged, changing the cross of your legs. If you're not, we'll just do that same side again. And inhale, sweeping up, extending those fingertips. And exhale with fold. And maybe just notice If there's a squeeze, a slight pinch in the opposite hip. And either softening through the arms or coming up onto those fingertips and pushing into the fingertips so you can ground further into those sitting bones. So really activating those forearms. And make sure that neck is relaxed. And we'll inhale, coming all the way back up to seated. And then we'll roll over onto our hands and knees, coming into our tabletop position. So knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders, flatten the feet down onto the mat and just sway the hips out from side to side. Releasing any tension, taking the gaze down between the thumbs. And then finding some stillness, finding that neutral position. So drawing the belly button back towards the spine, engage that core. Tuck the tailbone ever so slightly so you reduce the hollow in your lower back. And really ground through the heels of your hands and the pads of your fingers. Really activating through the arms. Then we take an inhale just to drop the belly, take the gaze up towards the ceiling. And exhale, push through the hands around the spine, chin to chest. Into that cat stretch. Inhale, reverse the action. And just adjusting your movement in time with your own breath. So just doing what's right for you. Perhaps it feels good just to hold at the top, breathing into it. And then exhale. Really warming up that spine, and then taking any movement that feels good for you. So perhaps circling the hips, maybe just taking a child's pose, sinking your sit bones back towards your heels, just exploring any movement here. Then coming back through center, we'll take an inhale, and as we exhale, we'll tuck our toes under, send the hips high. And we come to our first downward dog. So just going easy on yourself here. Perhaps taking some movement, pedaling out the feet, bending through the knees, maybe even rocking the hips from side to side. Again, just exploring your range of movement, noticing any stiffness. And then finding some stillness, so taking your attention back to your breath. Those slow, deep inhales and exhales. And either keeping a bend in the knees or dropping the heels further down towards the mat. Finding that nice stretch down the backs of those legs. And finding that breath. And we'll inhale, take the right foot up towards the ceiling. So we come into our three-legged dog, right toes pointing down towards the mat. Really sink that left heel further into the mat. Equal weight between those hands. Square off the hips. Deep inhale here, and then exhale. Step that right foot between the hands so we come to our low lunge. Then we drop that back knee, flatten the feet, take the gaze forward. And then as you exhale, we'll straighten through that front leg. So coming into a hamstring stretch here. Coming up onto those fingertips. Maybe adjust here, so shuffle that left knee back a bit so it tracks underneath your hip. And coming up onto those fingertips, flex that right foot back towards your face. Inhale, taking the gaze forward, and exhale, just softening into the arms. Feeling that stretch, maybe exploring, pointing and flexing that right foot. And again, perhaps swaying the hips from side to side. Finding some movement there. Then we'll inhale, and as we exhale, we'll step that left hand over the right foot. and walk our fingertips round. So finding more of a stretch. And again, just exploring, not pushing it too far. Perhaps you need to take a little micro bend in that knee. That's absolutely fine. But just doing what's feeling good for you. Inhale here, exhale, gently coming out of it, bending into that front knee again. And come up on those back toes, so lifting that back knee. Inhale here, and then exhale, we'll step it back to our downward dog. And pedal out those feet again. Inhale and exhaling, and just notice any difference between those legs. And feel a bit lopsided. And we'll go the other side. So we inhale the left leg up this time. Point those left toes down towards the mat. Really notice that extra stretch in that right leg. Try to sink the torso towards that right thigh. Squaring off the hips. Inhale here, exhale, step that left foot through. Drop the back knee, flatten that foot. Inhale onto the fingertips, and then exhale, walk those fingertips back towards your hips. And again, just adjusting here so that right knee sits underneath that hip and straighten through that left leg. And again, maybe taking some movement into it here, rocking the hips. It's my old injury leg, so I always notice a big difference on this side. And then pointing and flexing. So just notice that in yourself. Just notice any slight differences. And inhale onto those fingertips and exhale, sinking that torso forwards. Deep inhale here, and then if you'd like to, stepping that right hand over that left foot, tracking all the way around, finding that deeper stretch. If it's too much, come back or soften the knee. Just sending the breath to that area. Deep inhale here and exhale. Walk those hands forward, bending through that left knee again. Tuck the back toes under, frame that front foot with your hands, and we step all the way back to our downward dog. And this time we'll shorten the dog a bit. So walk your hands a pace towards you, and then heel toe your feet so they're the width of the mat. So we're shortening and widening the dog. And then just rock your hips from side to side. So releasing here, working into the legs. And then either finding some stillness or staying with the rocking, or if you'd like to, take your right hand and seeing if you can hook it round that left ankle, pulling that torso through. So working on those hamstrings, and again, really not pushing it, just going to that edge. And then maybe even easing off slightly. Deep inhale here, exhale, release that right hand down. And then we'll go the other side. So inhale, exhale. See if you can take that left hand to the right ankle, or maybe even the calf. Maybe it's not there for you. That's fine. Slow, deep inhales and exhales. Deep inhale, exhale, release that hand, heel to your feet so they're back to hip width apart. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, walk your hands towards your feet and taking hold of opposite elbows. So we're ragdoll at the back of the mat. Maybe taking a micro bend in those knees, swaying those elbows out from side to side. Release the neck. Taking some bounces. And then release the elbows, and we'll inhale to our flat back. Take the gaze forward. Exhale, fold. And then we'll inhale, sweeping all the way up, gently unpeeling, coming up to standing, palms to touch. And exhale, taking your hands to heart center. And then by your sides, palms facing forward into our mountain pose. So really strong here. Really pointing those fingertips down towards the mat, pulling up on the kneecaps, drawing the shoulder blades together, maybe even rolling the shoulders forwards and back, opening up that chest, tucking the tailbone. And we'll inhale, sweeping all the way up, gathering that energy, palms to touch. And exhale, bend through the knees as we fold all the way down to that forward fold. And then we'll walk our hands towards the top of the mat, so creeping forwards, and we come to our plank. So option to drop those knees to take the intensity down. And just make sure our hands are underneath our shoulders. Wherever you are, that tailbone is tucked. The navel is being drawn back towards the spine. If you've lifted the knees, make sure you're pushing into those heels, really engaging through those legs, really pushing into the shoulder blades. So you engage that core. We inhale here and we exhale. We'll come into our side plank. So take your left hand underneath your face, drop your heels to the left, and we extend those right fingertips all the way up towards the ceiling. Again, option to drop to that left knee, lifting through the hips. Imagine you've got a piece of string supporting. Inhale here, exhale, really gently float that right hand down. Come back through center, and we'll go the other side. So we inhale here. Exhale, take that right hand underneath your face, drop the heels to the right. Sweep those left fingertips up. Take the gaze to the ceiling. Keep those hips lifted. Drop that right knee if needed. Inhale here, exhale, float that left hand down. Come back through center. Inhaling here and exhaling. We bend through the elbows, drop to the knees, lower all the way down to the mat. And then we inhale to our baby cobra. So lift the chest, point the elbows towards the back of the room, gaze is forward, point to the toes, engage the glutes. Deep inhale and exhale, push through the hands, back through that tabletop, round the spine, chin to chest, tuck the toes under, send those hips high. And inhaling, exhaling back to that downward dog. Inhale here and exhale. We'll walk our feet towards our hands at the front of the mat. Coming into that forward fold. Softening through the knees. And plant the left hand in front of that left foot. And we'll inhale, sweep the right hand up, straighten the right leg. Coming into a twist. Exhale, drop the right hand down. Plant the right hand and release the left. Sweeping all the way up. Coming into that twist. Straighten through that left leg. Exhale. Float the left hand down. We inhale to our flat back. Take that gaze forward. Exhale, fold. Release the neck. And then we inhale, sweeping all the way up. Coming up to standing. palms to touch, and exhale, hands to heart center. And just pausing here, just to reconnect. So just notice your heart rate, notice your temperature, your breath. And we'll take our big toes to touch with a gap between the heels. And we'll take our hands by our sides, extending those fingertips down towards the mat. Knees might be touching, they might not be. Just go with it. Roll the shoulders back again, so forwards and back. And then we inhale, bend through the knees, sink the hips back, extend those fingertips and those arms past the ears, palms facing each other. Tuck the tailbone so you're not squeezing and sinking into the lower back. Inhale here, exhale, take the hands to heart center. Take another inhale and exhale, we twist to the left. Option to hook that right elbow over the left knee, coming into that twist, really bending into the knees, weight into the heels. Take the gaze over that left elbow. Nice, and really push the hands so they're at heart center. So try not to sink the palms so they're towards that left elbow. So we're really twisting around. And then we inhale, sweeping back up to that central chair, extending those fingertips. Might be feeling it in the legs now. Take the hands to heart center, take another inhale, and this time we twist to the right. So either just rotating here, taking that mini twist, or hooking that left elbow over the right knee. Gazing over that right elbow, staying with the breath. And we'll inhale, back through center, back into that chair pose. And exhale, straighten the legs as you fold into that forward fold, releasing the neck. We inhale to our flat back position. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, plant the hands, and step walk or hop yourselves into your plank. Just whatever you're feeling, go with how your energy is. Inhaling here and exhaling, lowering down, either knees, chin, chest like we did before, or hovering forwards, bending through the elbows, coming all the way down, and then inhaling onto the tops of your feet, lifting the chest, extending the arms, taking the gaze up. Inhaling here, exhale, take the gaze over your left shoulder towards the back of the room. Inhale back through center, exhale, take the gaze over the right shoulder towards the back of the room. Inhale back through center, exhale, tuck the toes under and either come back through tabletop or come all the way into your downward dog, just choosing that option that feels right for you. And then we'll turn our left foot out slightly, inhale the right up towards the ceiling, and exhale, step that right foot between the hands, plant both feet before inhaling, sweeping all the way up to our warrior one. Drop the shoulders, really focus that energy out through the fingertips. See if you can bend into that right knee, keeping that back leg straight, really working into the outside edge of that back foot. Deep inhale, exhale, we fold. Frame that front foot, pivot on the ball of the back foot, and step back to your plank or your supported plank. Inhaling here, exhaling, bending through the elbows. Inhale to your upward dog or your baby cobra. Just taking that option that works for you. And exhale, tuck those toes under. Coming back through that downward dog. And we'll go the other side. So we turn our right foot out, inhaling the left up towards the sky. Exhale, step that left foot through, plant the feet, and inhale to release those fingertips. And just notice the difference on this side. See if you can sink, bending into that left knee, really pushing into the knife edge of that right foot. Inhale here, exhale. Float those hands down. Pivot on the back foot. Step yourselves back to your plank. Inhaling here, exhaling. Coming through that vinyasa, so lowering down. Inhaling to your back bend. Squeeze those shoulders together. Exhale. Coming into that downward dog. And just pausing here for that stillness and that connection. Notice your breath. Notice that energy that you've created. Inhale here, exhale. We walk our feet to our hands or take a hop. Any variation that feels good for you. Big toes to touch, gap between the heels. We inhale, flat back, squeeze those shoulders, take the gaze forward. Exhale, fold. And we inhale, coming back into our chair pose. So bending those knees, sweeping those arms up, palms facing each other. Gaze between the fingers. Then we exhale, coming back to standing, hands to heart center. And again, just taking a moment here, taking a pause. And we'll just come into just another mini flow and a mini balance. So maybe taking a step back. So you're still at the top, but just not all the way to the top. And we'll take our hands to heart center and taking our weight into our right foot. We'll inhale, taking that left foot to a hover. So that left sole of the foot is facing towards the floor. Inhale here and exhale. We'll fold at the hips as we send that left foot towards the back of the room. Hands to heart center still. That back foot, those back toes facing down towards the mat. And maybe if you'd like, you can release those hands behind you, squeeze those shoulders, palms facing down. We've got our aeroplane. See if you can really straighten that right leg. See if you can square off those hips. Woo, I lost it. Inhale here and exhale. Plant that back foot and float those hands up into a high lunge. And then we exhale. We open out to our warrior two. So turn that left foot in. Keep a bend in that right. Palms facing down, hands at shoulder height. Take the gaze over that right middle finger. And then we'll inhale, sweeping that right arm up, coming into our reverse warrior. And then we'll exhale, sweeping both arms down, windmilling them to frame that front foot. And then we'll step ourselves back into our downward dog. Just pausing here. Taking an inhale. And then as you exhale, step walk or hop yourselves to the front of the mat. We inhale to our flat back. Exhale, fold. And inhale, sweeping all the way up, coming to standing. And exhale, hands to heart center. And we'll go the other side. So pouring your weight into the left foot. We'll inhale, taking that right foot to a hover. Really flexing through that right ankle. Engage that left leg, the standing leg. Engage the glute. Inhaling here and exhaling. Send that right foot towards the back of the room. Coming into our warrior three. And again, option here to do something different with the hands. So releasing those fingertips behind. Perhaps this time you want to come into the full pose. Got the wall so I can't, but extending those hands forward. Inhaling here and exhaling. Preparing yourself to drop that back foot behind, floating it down with control. And inhaling those arms into our warrior two. So turning that right foot out, just readjusting your position as you need to. And bending into that left knee, palms facing down again. See if you can see that left big toe on the inside of that left knee. And then we'll reverse our warrior. So inhaling, sweeping that left arm up. And then we exhale, windmilling those arms down, framing that front foot. And we'll step back into our plank. Our downward dog. Thinking about the next thing. Inhaling here and exhale. We'll come into our child's pose. So knees as wide as the mat. Big toes to touch. And just sink those sit bones down onto your heels. Press the forehead onto the mat. Maybe even massaging the forehead, just rolling the head from temple to temple. Releasing any tension in the neck. And we'll inhale, coming up onto our fingertips. So lifting the forearms, engaging those fingers into the mat. Inhaling here and exhaling. We'll walk our hands round towards the right. And then sinking your torso over that right leg. And finding a nice stretch. A nice lengthening in that left hand side. And maybe even taking that left hand over the right hand, just to find a bit more length. And taking that focus back to the breath. Slow, deep inhales, slow, deep exhales. Deep inhale here and exhale. We'll walk our fingertips all the way around to the left. Really releasing that torso over the left thigh. Covering the left hand with the right. Encouraging that right armpit towards the floor. And just notice what happens as you do that. Finding more of a stretch down that right hand side. Inhaling here, exhaling. Coming up onto those fingertips again, walking all the way back through center. And releasing your forehead down onto the mat and take your hands by your sides, maybe even taking hold of your heels. Just releasing off through the shoulders. And we'll inhale as we gently come out of it. Coming all the way up, so coming into seated, untucking your feet from underneath you. And then we'll take a twist. So you can take a bend in your left leg. So your left knee is pointing towards the top of the mat. And take your right foot over that left knee. And take an inhale here. And as you exhale, wrap that left arm around that right leg. And drop those right fingertips behind you, gazing over that right shoulder. And see if you can drop that right sitting bone down towards the mat so that you really extend up through the crown of the head and you feel a nice stretch as well in that right glute. An option here to take that left elbow on the outside of that right knee so you can find a further twist. Inhaling here. And exhaling, maybe even releasing both hands. Planting those hands to your right and just taking a small bow. And we'll inhale back up and switch the legs round. So take your right knee, or whichever one you didn't do. I must be a bit prescriptive, but just the other side. So I'm folding my right leg so it's underneath and stepping the left so it's over that right knee. And inhaling through the crown of the head and then exhaling, wrapping that right arm around that left knee, dropping those fingertips behind, enjoying that glute stretch. And maybe taking that right elbow on the outside of that left knee, just for a further twist. Or maybe taking that supporting left hand away, placing those hands down and folding into those elbows. You want more of a stretch in that glute. And gently release on the inhale, untucking both legs. And we come down onto our backs, hugging the knees in towards the chest. Maybe taking a little rock from side to side. Maybe circling the knees. And then maybe taking a happy baby. So take the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. Take hold of the outside edges of the feet. And take your arms beside you with a bend in the elbows. We've got cactus arms onto the floor. And we'll cross our right leg over our left. And we'll take an inhale here. And as you exhale, drop your knees to the right, taking the gaze over the left. So it's just a different kind of supine twist. If it doesn't feel right for you, just drop both knees over to the right. Inhale, gently releasing, uncrossing the legs, come back through center, and then cross the left over the right, and drop those knees over towards the left. Taking the gaze over the right shoulder. And inhale back through center, releasing, and just taking one last movement that feels good for you. So maybe another happy baby, or some rock and rolls down the length of the mat. Just anything that you feel you need, maybe a really long pencil stretch. Before coming into our final pose, our relaxation, our Shavasana. So taking your hands by your sides, palms facing the ceiling. And taking the legs wide, allowing the feet just to drop out towards the outside edges of the mat. And closing those eyes or softening the gaze up towards the ceiling. And just find that breath again. So feel the rising fall of your belly. And softening into the mat with each exhale. sending the breath to any areas where you can still feel tension. Just enjoying the space. Finding that stillness. And then when you're ready, just finding some gentle movements in the fingers and toes. Inhaling your arms overhead and taking a pencil stretch, pointing to the toes, interlacing the fingers, pointing to the index finger. And then exhale, lifting the knees, taking your hands behind your knees, and we'll rock and roll up to seated. Just doing as many as feels good for that spine. Or just come up to seated in your own time if that isn't comfortable. And coming back to that comfortable seat and resting our hands onto our knees. And we'll take a chin mudra, a grounding mudra. So just taking your index finger in contact with your thumb pads. Grounding hand mudra. And then taking your hands to heart center. Namaste. Thank you, Monday yogis. Hope everybody has a lovely evening. What's the rest of it?
Thank you, Kat. You too.
Thank you. Bye.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Kat.
Thank you.
Thank you, that was great.
I can do whatever anyone likes, so please send me requests if you want to do it. So that's a sort of middle of the range type of class, but it can be much harder or much slower depending on what you like. So I try to do something in the middle because everybody's different, so it's difficult to gauge. It depends who comes as well. So yeah, it's up to you. It's completely up to you. It's your class, so just let me know.
That was great.
I felt like I was getting a bit fierce at one point, so I thought, oh no, time to stop. I was going to do a slow one.
I might have done a few child's poses.
Got a bit carried away, but it does happen. Anyway, have a lovely evening.
Have a nice evening.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.